This is the moment when the supposedly dead killer comes back to life for one last scare. One last scare. One last scare.
Welcome to The Last Scare, a home for horror nerds to come together and gush about their favorite feel-good genre. I'm Jayla.
I'm Cam.
You are Cam.
One of these days we're going to figure out if you're introducing me or if I'm introducing myself.
We will, but it's not today.
That's a different problem for a different holiday.
Yeah, but for now we are serving up some Thanksgiving feast.
Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble.
Tell me about it.
Oh boy, we have two, not one, but two Thanksgiving-specific horror movies. Unfortunately, there's no mashed potatoes this time. Or fortunately, depending on who you are.
Yeah, we're always saying Terrifier 2 is a Thanksgiving movie because of the mashed potato scene. I'll stand by that. Third one's a Christmas movie. I don't know how we always end up talking about this movie, but as far as the news goes, Twitter is buzzing right now with Melissa Barrera has been fired from Scream, whether it be by Paramount or by Spyglass. It's probably Paramount. She's been making some supposedly controversial remarks. At this point, everyone's already talking about this, and I don't know how much nuance I have to add to the discussion. All I'm going to say is Scream VI felt like the end of her character arc. They could just cap it there. And if that's the case, I can just pretend like 5 and 6 didn't even happen. It just doesn't really matter to me that much.
We'll wait and see. It's as much as I can add in.
Yeah, we'll wait to like really dig into it until there's more information, because everyone is kind of confused right now. And what's the point, you know?
Yeah, it just dropped out of nowhere. But we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Movies.
We have 2 Thanksgiving themed I keep saying Halloween. Thanksgiving themed horror movies.
Yes.
One is more interesting than the other.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think we're in agreement on which one is more interesting.
Probably so. But let's kick off our little side dish we have here. A movie from Into the Dark, Hulu's Into the Dark series, which is something that I'll blab about a lot.
It's an anthology series. Yes. It's basically a bunch of indie movies that Hulu said, oh, we can sell these better if we say they're part of a series.
Yeah, it was real fun. Every month they drop a feature-length episode. It was great. This one in particular is called Pilgrim, and it is focusing on a family that hires some reenactors, first Thanksgiving reenactors that don't break character. Ooh, this mostly true story was based off the writer's experience as a kid, where that happened. His family, it happened up to a certain point, clearly. His family hired Pilgrim reenactors, and they just did not break character, and they spent the night, and it was really weird. That's that picture at the very end.
Okay, so the true story is that his parents hired reenactors to come to their home, not all the killing and stuff.
No, not the killing. They just were really weird and didn't break character.
It's a true story. Yeah,
Mostly.
Every movie is inspired by something.
But I found the concept pretty interesting, especially considering how the first Thanksgiving actually went. Regardless.
It was violent.
Sure was.
I guess they just wanted to keep the spirit.
Mostly did. How do you feel about this movie?
It was weird, wild, wacky. It was... I thought, based on the dialogue at the beginning, talking about early American history / Native American history, that it was going to have a really pointed message about race or genocide or historical atrocities. And it wasn't that. At least, if it was, it whooshed over my head. But basically, it kind of devolves into a really thin morality play about gratitude.
They did overtake their home and then invited everyone over. And then ate their food and kind of murdered
Okay,
them.
okay, yeah, yeah. There is that. I didn't think about it that way.
Pretty accurate for the first Thanksgiving. Good for them.
Yeah, so these reenactors are named Ethan and Patience.
Sorry. Yes.
I think Ethan sounds like a. Is there a historical someone named Ethan something?
I'm sure.
I haven't. History has always been my weakest subject as far as academia. Anywho,
Oh, yes.
no, go on.
I will say earlier in like the beginning of the movie, the mom of like the main mom, stepmom of the family, she gifts one of the Pilgrim actors to her friend that's going through it. And what's a worse gift than a method actor that you're stuck with?
They should have had Jared Leto play the Pilgrim.
Ew. That would have been awful.
What would he send them instead of used condoms?
It's a great question.
Empty corn husks.
Yes, sure. Anyways.
It's real warm. So the dad is addicted to looking at stocks online.
It's a really specific addiction.
Yeah, the characters were a little thin. It's a very short movie.
Yeah, it's not even 1:30. It's like 1:25 or something.
1:20 with credits. It's very short, but the editing in this was interesting. There's a lot of they do a lot of split diopters, which ever since I'm not gonna say it. I am a fan of as of recent. I like movies that do a lot of split diopters, but I don't have to say the same movie every week.
Sure, you don't want to say it.
Evil Dead Rise. They also do a lot of shots where they will kind of zoom in on something and then loop it back and zoom in. Like when a character is dying, it'll show them like falling down, and then it's the same shot but zoomed in, and then it's the same shot but even more zoomed in. The editor on this movie was really, really doing the most. It's pretty creative. I think they did a lot of the effective work for this in post for sure.
What I am I going to get into spoilers?
Sure, why not? Spoiler warning.
What I love is the tone change in like the third act, where like you're like, okay, this is cool, I guess, and then they just kind of really go for it, and they serve up the dad's head for them to eat, and everyone's puking everywhere, and it just goes absolutely crazy. I had fun with the way this movie ended.
Yeah, it starts out. So much happens in the third act. There's like 3 different climaxes in the movie.
Yeah.
But one of them, the main character, who is named, Cody. Cody. How could I forget? Her name is Cody. She's on this horrible seesaw where they're dipping her into the pool.
I like that shot though.
To like drown her. Yeah, they have the camera mounted on the teeter-totter, and it's a pretty interesting shot. But basically, the villains are making a point of making sure the whole family is grateful for everything and expressing their gratitude. That's like the moral of the story. It's very much a John Kramer sort of, you need to be thankful for your life or lose it.
It made me think of a dark fairy tale because it's a morality thing, and it's so simple. It's really weird, kind of supernatural almost, with the wishbone circling back at the end.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah, it's like to me it's like a dark fairy tale because she makes the wish, and then they come, and it goes all wacky bad, and he's like, "This is what you wished for."
So Mr. Ethan Pilgrim is a weird, evil little entity.
Yeah, kind of like a Krampus, but for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's basically Krampus, but for Thanksgiving.
I'm looking forward to watching Krampus again. I watched it when it came out in like 2015. I went to the theater and saw it. But I haven't watched it since then. But I have recently kind of reappraised Adam Scott
Yeah!
in my mind. And gonna give that a go again, or we will give that a go again. We'll watch the naughty cut, which is like the unrated cut. I've heard the differences aren't really worth it, but still,
he's so much fun.
he is. And I haven't even gotten to the parts in Parks and Rec with him yet. I know he's a big part of it. I know who he marries in the end of the show, or I don't know if it's the end, but at some point he gets married to a character. And I've caught so many Parks and Rec spoilers over the years, but I'm looking forward to meeting Adam Scott's character. I don't know why I'm on a tangent about Parks and Rec now, but
Shout out to little Sebastian.
Tom Haverford is my favorite character. I think he is absolutely hilarious. And then I thought that Andy Dwyer would be my favorite character, Chris Pratt. And he's gotten funnier. I think the first half of season 2, he's just a little grub.
Oh, yeah.
And he's still a little grub, but he's gotten funnier. His childishness is kind of grating sometimes, and other times it's really funny.
I think that's how they all felt.
Yeah.
But Pilgrim.
That was a tangent from a tangent.
From a tangent to a tangent, right back to where we started.
We gotta prune the timelines.
Oh no. I will say my final thoughts on Pilgrim. Check it out. It's a really short watch. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth giving a try. It's fun. It's wacky, like you said earlier. And it has this dark fairy tale tone to it that feels kind of like lighthearted, but really twisted at the same time.
It goes really over the top in the ending. I think this movie is a lot wackier than Eli Roth's Thanksgiving, which we'll be touching on very soon. There, just remember all the vomiting blood?
Yeah.
Like a lot of that. A lot of that.
That was just a really fun way to end it. And then they all get revenge on Ethan Pilgrim.
Yeah, they uncover, they're like covering the little boy's eyes, Tate's eyes, and then the hands move right at the last second. He definitely witnesses that like axe smash into
Was
the
it
head.
their family kill where they're all in on it? Before the dad dies, there's something they do as a family that was really funny.
I don't remember. Sorry.
It's okay. They get a family kill in, and he has like a quippy one-liner. I didn't write it down, but it was funny. That's my point.
One more thing about production, they use a lot of anamorphic lenses that really distort the image, especially on the edges. There's a lot of weird like curvature, and it kind of just makes everything a little more weird and unsettling. I appreciated that. And my other random point is the boyfriend.
Poor guy.
Well, I mean, I don't trust guys that button their shirt up all the way like that. Like, you're wearing a short sleeve button down, so it's like warm outside, right? But then you button your shirt up all the way. It just doesn't look good.
He's kind of a dweeb.
Yeah, it's like the conventional early 2010s hipster in a sitcom look.
Oof. That's way too specific for me to not like. Yeah. Yeah. My last little tidbit I'll throw in was I like the buildup of things, like the way things kept getting weirder. They built a whole like outhouse outside, and Ethan Pilgrim is telling these weird stories to the kid. He's just overjoyed. The kid shows gratitude. He's like, "Can I have 2 pieces of candy?" He's like, "No."
No, because he won't be grateful enough.
And he goes, "Okay." And he's like, "Oh, you're amazing." He's like having like an emotional like moment because this kid said no to a second piece of candy.
Meeting someone who survives the trap and like really earns their new life. Amanda, I guess?
It's basically the same moment as in Saw X when that guy was about to steal from the dying dude. And he does it, he goes, "Good choice."
Ocular Trauma. That was a band name I thought of earlier this
That's
week.
a great name.
Ocular Devastation.
Oh my god. You got anything else about this one?
Jayla loves eye trauma.
I hate it. This is why I'm changing the subject. Ugh. Anything to do with eyes in horror movies, it's just bad time. I blame Dead Space I blame that game because
Never seen it.
there's a gnarly eye trauma in it, and it's just not fun. Speaking of trauma,
You better figure out that segue,
Thanksgiving.
Jayla. Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. This originally came from one of the fake trailers in the Robert Rodriguez Quentin Tarantino double feature titled Grindhouse, which came out in 2007 or so. And Eli Roth made a fake trailer for a movie called Thanksgiving. And the real movie Thanksgiving borrows a couple things from that, like a couple kills and a couple lines that are on the poster. But other than that, it's not the same thing. It was advertised as a really gritty, grindhouse, gross, kind of grainy, grimy, grotty movie that looks just absolutely disgusting and features maybe more shock value.
maybe.
The first of those two movies in the Grindhouse double feature, the Robert Rodriguez one, which is called Planet Terror, is very shocking and disturbing in some scenes while still being a fun, wacky horror movie. I don't think Thanksgiving really panned out the same way as the fake trailer. I think it's a little bit more studio sanitized, kind of.
Oh yeah, it's very pristine.
Yeah, it's a major studio. It's Sony. I don't know how much they were interfering or if this is like truly the movie that Eli Roth wanted to make. I just think it would have been more interesting if they had gone Grindhouse style with it.
I agree. I tend to agree. What got me, I just lost my train of thought. It was a good point too.
Derailed.
This makes me think of a lot of the same studio slashers of like late 2000s, early 2010s. Kind of made me think of the Friday 13th remake, My Bloody Valentine remake. Things of that nature is the vibe I got off of it. As far as even the kills, they had interesting kills, don't get me wrong. It definitely is distinctly different than what it's based off of.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't really seem like it was a retro callback to Halloween, like the beginning of the fake trailer is, or anything of that nature. Didn't have a lot of shock value in it. There's one kill that was pretty brutal.
I think basically the movie overall is kind of a string of decent, violent, gory deaths held together by sort of a thin, standard slasher plot, more or less. I think it's definitely more homage than anything, which is also like Tarantino's weakness as a
You're
filmmaker.
gonna get us kicked out.
Sorry, I don't think that Quentin Tarantino is the most original filmmaker ever.
Tarantino's coming for us. You can hear him.
He's not watching. He doesn't care.
Never mind.
There are a bunch of wild kills. Most of the kills start with some sort of big assault, like corn holders stabbed into the ears.
I hated that.
Basically, none of the deaths are like the first attack on the person.
How did you feel about the setup? We can talk about the setup. It's the first 5 minutes of the movie that kind of sets the tone, where it's a Black Friday sale.
Yeah, I like that because I think it starts out with a bunch of people getting trampled to death in a Black Friday sale, which happens in real life.
One guy like cuts his own neck trying to get to a waffle iron.
It just kind of shows a lot of real shit that happens every year. Just sort of a kind of disgusting American tradition that we have. And I think it's truly ridiculous how much earlier Black Friday gets every year. Like having it be on Thanksgiving at all is just, well, where's the love for Thanksgiving? Where is it?
It's a great question. Yeah, all the sales are online these days. No need to like.
Yeah, who wants to go to brick and mortar these days?
Well, I didn't say that.
Yes, I Brick and mortar, keep it alive.
Keep
Yes.
it alive.
Amazon can't have everything.
No. Makes things boring. But, as we were saying, I don't feel like there's, as far as final spoiler-free thoughts, I don't feel like there's any super strong characters in this.
Definitely not.
McDreamy's there.
Addison Rae is there.
Yeah.
Probably some other TikTokers. I feel like I recognized a handful of people in the movie but couldn't place them. I'm pretty sure there's more TikTokers in the movie. But Eli Roth did consult with actual teenagers to write the dialogue, because if you might have noticed, there is a lot of colloquialisms, a lot of just hip teen slang that kids actually say, like "gas me up" or something. Like he actually asked what kids would say in certain situations so he could realistically write the dialogue, because he's not in with the hip teen lingo.
He should pick cooler teens.
Yeah, Addison Rae is like our age or something.
Is she?
I don't know.
I don't know either. She's one of the dancing ones, yeah?
Oh my god. Thanksgiving.
Oh god.
She like invented the TikTok dance, yeah.
I thought that was another. I can't keep up.
I don't know.
I can't keep up.
I don't know.
Good for her though, leading role. Not for TikTok. Maybe.
Not an even leading role.
Oh, that wasn't her. It
No.
wasn't. Oh.
Who
Well.
is she? She's someone. I meant to look it up. I forgot.
We watched this movie, I promise.
Tim Dillon, the comedian, is in this. And first time we saw him, I was like, is that Tim Dillon? And then later, I was like, it's definitely him. Okay. Neil Verlack. I recognize her. I don't know. I'm looking at her credits, and I think she looks like someone else.
She looks like Haunting of Hill House.
Like...
She plays Love in season 2 of You.
I haven't seen that.
I don't have my glasses on. That's what she looks like without my glasses. No, she doesn't. I take that back. Well,
I think she looks like someone else.
yeah, I'm probably wrong. I'm definitely wrong.
I think she looks like Lily Reinhardt a little bit.
Yeah, I see that.
Anywho. Spoiler warning. Let's just get into it.
Right. So, this is a whodunit, and I feel like our reveal of McDreamy being the killer was a bit shoehorned in. I don't because leading up to it, it felt like there were 2 killers. It feels like they changed it last minute. Because there was definitely times where I know, Scream, Jayla, shut up, I don't care. Hint at 2 killers. For instance, when they're all in the high school and Mr. Pilgrim 2.0 gets sprayed in the eyes, she runs out and runs outside. McDreamy's there. His eyes are fine. There are 2 killers.
It did seem like the killers were collabing.
Like, there's multiple times where, like, there had to be 2 people.
Mm.
That's all. That's my big gripe about that.
What was that, like, Jersey accent he had going on during the movie? Did you notice that? It wasn't even blatant throughout everything he said. It was just a few words that were...
Every so often. It was, like, sprinkled in.
Yeah.
What do you feel about his motivation? Was that set up well enough for you?
Okay, so there's so many potential killers, and I thought the obvious one was going to be Bobby. Throughout the whole thing, he seemed a little bit...
Baseballer, yeah?
Yeah, the one who gets his arm just utterly crushed.
That opening scene was actually pretty brutal.
It was brutal.
Because you had the one lady that got scalped, her neck was broken, she's like all on the ground.
Yeah,
Dead.
Some of the kills were decent. I just think they could have done something more interesting with the story.
Oh, overall, like, the beginning...
Earned the kills.
Yes. It didn't really feel earned or set up, like a good chase scene. I got like some good tension. I don't think I don't feel like there was enough tension sometimes. If I could just not word vomit, that'd be really great. And the reveal was kind of like, all right.
It's Dempsey.
It's most Probably most expensive actor, or was it Addison Rae?
No, it was probably Dempsey. Addison Rae probably hasn't been in any legit movies.
I don't know.
I think she's been in a Netflix movie.
Was she the one that was in the
It was a remake of some
yeah.
gender bent remake of She's All That, something like that.
He's All That.
He's All That.
He's All That. Yeah.
Well, one of them was a remake of the other.
She's All That was the original.
Okay.
He's All That was the remake.
And the original is not an Amanda Bynes movie.
No, that's She's the Man.
I was thinking of Sydney White and the Seven Dwarfs.
I love that movie.
That's a great
It's
movie.
such a good movie. We should start talking about that.
We should just shift the whole podcast into talking about weird mid-2000s movies
Oh,
that we grew up on.
Absolutely. 17 again?
Max Keeble's Big Move.
Yeah! Good times.
17 again is... Wow, product placement.
Pay me.
Stop. Who'd you think of when someone... I don't...
Who did I think? Who did I think
At
the
the
killer
end, he's
was?
screaming, Jessica!
Yes, I was laughing. I could not stop giggling because it sounded just like David Tennant and Jessica Jones just screaming Jessica.
Iconic.
Amazing. I wish he was in this movie.
How'd you feel about the ending of the movie and its commitment to being an ending?
We'll see. It was like, no one could have survived that blast, but we couldn't find a body. I've heard this a million
Couldn't
times
find a
now.
body. Really? They're gonna try and set up a franchise here?
Or was there actually two killers and the other one got away?
I'm tired.
Ooh.
I'm so tired.
I thought it was gonna be, what was it the Robbie? The other guy. The one that she left Bobby for.
Ryan.
I thought it was gonna be Ryan because he's a super nice guy that randomly shows up in the beginnings. Like, he's all cool.
But he's not nice.
Yeah, exactly.
He's kind of douchey.
Yeah, exactly.
And so is Bobby.
I feel worse for Bobby than I do Ryan. I mean, clearly, but like.
Yeah, I mean.
He tried to go save that guy's life, and that's why he lost his arm.
It was just kind of shameless sequel bait there at the end. And I don't know if this movie is gonna go anywhere after this.
I feel like with the concept that they were working with, they should have gone 100% with it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of giving a more boring version than what was presented.
They did the thing where at the end of the movie, the villain is defeated, but the hero is having nightmares of them because they have to deliver like a final scare because they'll kill the villain and then they'll have like a Lord of the Rings kind of happy ending wrap up that goes on longer than it needs to, but they still want to end on a scary note. So they'll have her like waking up from her nightmares of being killed or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like this was one where I was like, they could have ended this way earlier, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. It feels like, I don't know. I feel like there is a lot of points where they could have been way stronger than it ended up being.
Mm.
Personally, the kills were cool. I mean, the whole thigh meat thing, that was pretty gnarly.
There was the lady Lizzie getting her head dunked in water and then her face stuck to the freezer and she just pulls off her own face skin. That was pretty gnarly.
And then she gets torn in half.
Yeah, she gets just like smashed in half by like a truck hitting the dumpster when she's halfway in it. Lots of guts falling out and such.
Lots of guts. They did rip a few scenes directly from the Grindhouse version of it.
Yes, but the Grindhouse version did the trampoline better. The trampoline in the Grindhouse trailer makes your jaw drop. You're like, ouchie.
Accidentally swallowed my gum because of it.
But she falls differently in the actual movie. Yeah, Jayla swallowed her gum like right before show.
I didn't mean to.
This is at least the second time Jayla has swallowed her gum around me, and I don't know if she knows that you're not supposed to do that.
Yes, I know.
Like, that's bad.
Yes, thank you.
Swallowing gum is bad.
Okay. I feel like this movie could have been campier. It's a Thanksgiving horror movie.
Gotta go
Smart campy, not like...
all in or not.
Yeah.
Be all campy or actually be scary.
Do you think they were going to ever be scary with this?
It could have been. It could have been. I don't know. Slashers aren't scary to me, but generally.
They can have good tension.
Yeah. I have maybe already said this on the pod, but I am not going to watch any Texas Chainsaw sequels or any Halloween sequels. I've only seen Texas Chainsaw, original Texas Chainsaw, and Halloween 1 and Halloween Ends, but I'm not gonna like go watch all the Halloween movies because they're so varied. I'll watch Season of the Witch, but
Worth it.
I don't know. It just seems like any classic movie that gets turned into a franchise ends up getting kind of bastardized and hung out to dry, and just a bunch of hash, just a bunch of terrible rehash and terrible sequels. And I'm going to pass on it, you know? Like,
Even the Michael Bay one?
which one is Michael Bay?
Texas Chainsaw.
Well, which Texas Chainsaw movie? I don't think he directed any of them.
He had something to do with it.
Produce doesn't really mean anything to me. It doesn't matter to me.
Keep saying interesting stuff.
No, I got nothing.
Top kill.
Top kill.
For both movies. Wrap us up.
I like in the Pilgrim movie how... Here's the point I was trying to make, but I didn't want to say it because it was going to be spoilers. The dad is addicted to looking at stocks, and then him and his wife end up getting put in stocks. You know, like the wood thing with the holes in it. I thought that was an intentional pun joke sort of thing.
It feels like the kind of movie to do that on purpose.
I like when patients get stabbed in the head with a ice pick or something.
Mm-hmm.
Ouchie there.
Big ouchie.
Probably for Thanksgiving. Yeah, I want to say the table saw, but I've seen a better table saw kill.
Freaky had a pretty good one.
Yeah. I don't know. What's your answer?
The oven.
Okay.
The whole sequence of like, is she gonna get away? She's kind of trying to get out of it.
The visit.
Oof. And then like, I think the effects they did on like slicing her up and serving her up was well done.
But even so, it looked better in the Grindhouse trailer.
Yeah, had a different ending though.
That's all I got, honestly.
Yeah. I don't think either of these would be a waste of your time, but I wouldn't put them on a priority.
If you do want Thanksgiving horror, I would say watch Pilgrim. I would say don't rush out and see Thanksgiving, but maybe go see Pilgrim.
I think Pilgrim nails the holiday spirit vibe, has more festive vibe than Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving doesn't really ever feel festive-y, besides the whole like at the dinner table.
Yeah, it feels like more of a critique of kind of American consumerism.
It should be called Black Friday.
It really should.
It's not really about Thanksgiving.
But I think that there's already a movie called Black Friday.
Bruce Campbell's in it.
Oh. Well, I should watch that.
Yeah. Watch Pilgrim. Watch Into the Dark. And Puka. That's the Christmas one.
And watch The Last Scare.
Yeah. Share us with your friends.
Share us around.
I'll be right back.
I clicked the wrong thing. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our live shows. We are here almost every week doing live shows and sometimes pre-recorded podcasts. We are at Last Scare on Twitter and TikTok And YouTube, we try to keep it pretty consistent so it's easy to remember. And we're gonna go away and enjoy Thanksgiving, and maybe don't be a terrible person on Black Friday, but do enjoy your life and your family and friends or whatever on Thanksgiving, and give thanks.
I'm gonna go get some poisonous berries.
Ah.
I'll be right back.